Coming up on Tiger News, the men's basketball team is out of their conference tournament, but back in the big dance. We'll tell you more about both just ahead.
There's also a new look awaiting you at the airport. Find out what's in store for travelers. Tiger News starts now.
Welcome back to the latest edition of Tiger News. I'm Lily Mosley.
Brandon Justice, thank you for joining us.
University of Memphis basketball made it all the way to the final round of the AAC tournament, but they fell short. The Tigers lost to the University of Houston 53-71. On the right side, Memphis will go on to play in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2014. They'll play Boise State on Thursday afternoon in Portland, Oregon.
The next time you fly Memphis, you may see some beautiful things as you leave the terminal. An airport has updated its interior designs for the visitors.
The Memphis International Airport finally unveiled their newly renovated B concourse, leaving guests and passengers amazed. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held at the Memphis International Airport, unveiling modern renovations that have been done to its B concourse. The long-awaited milestone featured upgraded seating with wireless charging stations and an all-new art program that includes 61 different artworks representing 62 artists with ties to Memphis. The STEM and southeast leg of the concourse will house all airline, retail, and restaurant operations. The airport's Director of Strategic Marketing and Communications, Glenn Thomas, said the modernization project cost nearly $250 million. But was worth every penny.
Well, I think the modernization project is critical in terms of our visitors. It can be the first impression that people have of the city when they arrive. So if they're wowed by that, then certainly they have a positive first impression.
First flight passengers were in for a surprise when they were greeted by airport staff and Grizz dancers with free Grizzlies gear. Airport officials say they have plans to update the security, ticketing, and baggage areas next. For the University of Memphis, I'm Alan Avant.
The number of COVID cases in Shelby County has significantly dropped, but that's not the case worldwide. In China, 2 cities face major outbreaks, some say because their vaccines weren't as effective. Both towns are now on mandatory lockdown until March 20th. The numbers are the highest it's ever been for that country.
A university employee has gone above and beyond her desk job to provide for those in the city of Memphis after the loss of close family members in 2020. Here is Portia Hernandez with more on this story.
Behind me is the hotel where a University of Memphis secretary found her son deceased. Waiting on the other side of the entrance in the Multicultural Affairs office is Toya Wilson-Gillard, the founder of the Tori Wilson Foundation that was created to help those in need of insurance after one of her twin sons overdosed of fentanyl.
He was found over in the Motel 6 over there on Sycamore View, where a lot of drug traffic happens over there.
Wilson-Gillard said that after her son's injury, opioids are what contributed to their addiction.
It was my son that got shot. He lived. They were prescribed some medications by the med, and from there, they shared.
According to Tennessee's Department of Health in 2020, drug overdose deaths climbed to over 3,000. That's almost a 1,000 difference than 2019. And the leading drugs, you may ask, are opioids, and coming in second, fentanyl. The mother took me to the location of her son's death and pointed to the place where the tragedy struck. It was in room 157. She says that coping with her son's death has been hard.
It's just sad. It's just sad in so many ways, because when I see my son that's deceased, I see my son that's alive.
Bishop David Gillard says that looking toward a brighter future is what fuels his family.
This year, more focused on my wife and my other children, and making sure they're good, and just, get through it day by day.
Corey, the surviving twin, has some final words for his brother.
If I had one last thing I could say to my brother, it would probably be that he's not always right when he feels as if change isn't a good thing.
You can donate to the Tori Wilson Foundation by visiting their Facebook page.
For Tiger News, I'm Portia Hernandez.
When we return, a bike accident has happened at an intersection on campus. Find out tips on how to be safe when crossing the street. Stay tuned for more on Tiger News.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
A student was hit by a car on campus while riding her bike across the crosswalk on Central Avenue across from the new music building. The student was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. We encourage students to be safe and look both ways before crossing the street. A tip is to press the crossing buttons on the light poles and wait for the walking sign to cross.
A small store in Overton Square is giving comic fans a community. 901 Comics is the home of pop culture. This is the second comic store to open in the city. The owners plan on expanding the feature. Ranging from comics to collectibles, the store welcomes anyone who is a longtime reader or a curious beginner. The shop offers the week's newest titles from Marvel and DC, also up and coming independent companies like Boom Studios and Image Comics. For those who are die-hard collectors, there is a separate room for vintage comics that goes back to the golden age. The shelves are littered with hundreds of hard copies and collected issues of other valuables. If there isn't your lane, there are other items to choose from. Statues, posters, mega, and other toys are available in the stores. Readers and collectibles can come and share their passion for everything comic related. The store is open every day. Coming up, one of the oldest African American cemeteries is finally getting cleared of clutter through the property. We'll tell you about it when we return.
My kids put skis on as they were learning to walk. I want my kids to be able to have those moments with their kids. Being a scientist, I'm worried about climate change in so many different ways for my kids. From the second you have a child, you want to do everything to protect them. I think our action on climate change is no different. It's just an extension of being a mom.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
I taught for 20 years, but I started forgetting my lectures. Eventually, he had to quit. My therapist recommended we go to the doctor.
The early Alzheimer's diagnosis allowed us to take control of the situation.
He's been such a positive force and so loving. Thank you. You're welcome.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
I'm a first-generation Filipino American. You don't always feel you're a part of the country you live in. It's this weird middle space sometimes that you have to live inside of. But when you meet others that are also living in that space, you'll learn to know that it's its own unique space too.
Some University of Memphis students are trying to preserve history from the 1800s. With more on the story, there is Tiger News' Brandon Justice.
Black History Month may have came to an end, but these students hope to keep the history alive at this cemetery through volunteer work. The U of M's Black Student Association and the National Association for Advancement of Colored People teamed up to help clean Zion Christian Cemetery that was started by free slaves in 1876. After a recent storm left tree branches, leaves, and trash, these students felt it was critical to help the historic landmark.
It's important to come back to our history and reflect and acknowledge its importance and just keep the legacy going that all these people died for, our freedom, so that we could, be in college today and we can be doing stuff. So it's important to preserve that.
The cleanup also served as an educational experience for the scholars.
Service is always a learning experience. Going out there and seeing the grave sites, it was quite interesting. We saw a group that, all died like 1925, and now I'm here wondering what happened to these people, and there are some people who are our age, which is insane, and to think back like 1800s. So it's just a learning experience to see people that, literally died for us to become who we are today and to grow and prosper even more.
According to the U of M's NAACP president, the cemetery hopes will continue its cleanup. They'll be able to start giving tours to teach others about the rich history buried right in the grounds. Reporting for Tiger News, I am Brandon Justice. Well, Tigers, I hope you are dressed because we're back in the big dance. The players headed to Portland while the first 4 games took place Tuesday and Wednesday, kicking off the tournament. In the first round of March Madness, Memphis will face Boise State on Thursday at 12:45 p.m. If they win, they will face the game winner between Gazelle and Georgia State. For more information on the matchup, visit cbssports.com/bracket. Coming up, we have an update on Women's History Month events on campus.
We also have a movie director that is coming to our campus. Find out how you can attend these events next on Tiger News.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
There!
What do we do?
You may not be able to plan ahead for a ghost encounter.
Under the dining table now!
But you can plan ahead for natural disasters. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts.
Maybe it's the apocalypse.
Know your evacuation routes and decide on a safe emergency meeting location.
Here? I know. Would have picked Orlando.
Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. So pass the Proton Pack to the next generation and visit ready.gov/plan to get started.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
The University of Memphis has put together several events to bring awareness to Women's History Month. Women's History Month recognizes the accomplishments of women they have made all over the nation. It is time to celebrate all women and the power they bring. To find out more about the events, go to tigerzone.edu for more information.
Movie director and producer Craig Brewer is coming to Memphis. While mainly being known for directing the movie Hustle and Flow, Brewer is also known for his work on the 2011 remake of Footloose and the 2021 film Coming to America. His first movie, The Poor and Hungry, was actually shot here in Memphis, Tennessee. This time around, Brewer will be hosting a screening of a movie at the Crosstown Theater on March 25th. Doors will open at 7:30 and the screening will be at 8. Tickets are $5, which you can get at the door. But what movie is showing? Well, that's a secret. All we know about the movie is that it's one of Brewer's favorites and he will be there himself to open up the movie.
Tigers, it's time for of that semester again. Make sure you have scheduled your academic advising appointments to gather your classes for your upcoming year. A link to make your appointment should have already been sent to your University of Memphis email. And if you're not sure who your advisor is, you can search and find My Advisor on the website, university website.
That's all we have for now. Join us next week for another edition of Tiger News.
Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.